Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome back to Texas Stadium a very special group of men who helped build the tradition of the Dallas Cowboys football. Please join in saluting the Dallas Cowboys alumni. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Cowboys alumni. And now, introducing the 1988 Dallas Cowboys on offense. At center, number 64 from Penn State, Tom Rafferty. At left tackle, number 78 from Boston College, Dave Waddell. At left guard, number 63 from BYU, Glenn Titanser. At right guard, number 68 from Florida, Crawford Kerr. At right tackle, number 66 from Washington, Kevin Gogan. At tight end, number 89 from Alabama, Thornton Chandler. At wide receiver, number 87 from Florida A&M, Ray Alexander. At wide receiver, number 83 from Boston College, Kelvin Martin. At running back, number 34 from Georgia, Herschel Walker. At fullback, number 30 from Winston-Salem State, Timmy Newsome. And at quarterback, number 16 from Washington, Steve Pallur. And coach Tom Landry and the rest of the Dallas Cowboys squad. Our color guard today comes from the U.S. Army recruiting in Dallas.
Cowboys prevail by a score of 17-14. My partner is Dan Fouts, and Dan, we have a couple of big personnel changes since that first game.
Well, for the Cardinals, they've got two real big problems. Number one, Stupp Mitchell is out, and number two, their quarterback Neil Lomax is hurting. He's one hit away from going out of the game. The Cardinals today feel they've got to break the spirit of the Cowboys early, not let them think about winning this ball game.
And Dan, talking about the Cowboys spirit, it wasn't very good this week. Tom Landry really has been brought under the coals because of his coaching performances. There have been a lot of polls in the newspaper saying that maybe he should resign. He got a cheer, by the way, when he was introduced before the game. What effect does that have on the Cowboys' preparation for this one?
Well, I don't like it. It's very distracting for the Cowboys to have to defend their coach all week. The biggest problem they have today, they feel they have to score 30 points to beat Phoenix. Problem is, they haven't scored that many in one game yet.
Chance of rain. It has been overcast all weekend. 57 degrees as we get underway here at Texas Stadium, where most of it is covered. The Phoenix Cardinals have won the toss, and they will receive. Roger Ruzek will be kicking off for the Dallas Cowboys, and there is Vi Sikahema deep for the Cardinals. Cardinals have lost 2 in a row. And the Cowboys are trying to break a 4-game losing streak, so something's got to give this afternoon in Dallas. And we're underway. It'll be Sikahema on the 12. Ganged up on just beyond the 25-yard line by Vince Albritton, who's back in action. Neil Lomax, who was knocked out in the third quarter of the Cleveland game last week, bothered by that arthritic hip that he'd rather not talk about, will be facing a Dallas Cowboys defense with one change. Mark Whalen starts for Kevin Brooks at left tackle. Otherwise, it's Ed Jones, Danny Noonan, and Jim Jeffcoat up front. The linebackers are Ron Burton, Eugene Lockhart, and Gary Cobb. And in the secondary, Everson Walls and Robert Williams are the cornerbacks, and Michael Downs and Bill Bates the safety. At the 26, 1st and 10, Tony Jordan starts in place of Stump Mitchell. And Jordan tests the middle of the line and brings it out to the 31-yard line, where Mark Whalen makes the tackle. The offense, Lomax, Jordan, Earl Farrell, Roy Green, and J.T. Smith are the wide receivers, and Robert Awald, one of two great pass receiving tight ends. The wide bodies up front, Louis Sharp, Todd Peete, Derek Kennard, Lance Smith, and Tootie Robbins. Huge offensive line. Gain of 5, and Lomax, who pointed out that the Cardinals are looking to score early and get a little bit of a margin. A 2nd and 5 at the 31. Lomax can't get off his first pass of the game, and Mark Whalen, in his first start, gets him for a safety back to the 22.
That was a very forceful sack from Whalen. He comes in number 95 here, and he wraps Lomax up, and then he slams him down to the turf. That's not going to do his hip any good, but it also might hurt his head a little.
We expect a lot of shifting in this game from both sides, particularly the Cardinals.
Cardinals have an interesting shift pattern. It's called an intermittent shift. You'll see one guy move, get set, and then 2 or 3 more guys will move. Very confusing for any defense.
So far, they haven't shown much of a shift. They have 3rd down and 14 back to their 22. In motion is Roy Green. Out of the shotgun, Lomax pass is batted down, and that was Ed Jones. He has made a living at batting down enemy quarterbacks' passes. That's number 78 in a brilliant career.
Well, this is how he got his nickname. It wasn't from any of the his teammates or anything. It's because quarterbacks say, hey, coach, that guy's too tall. I can't throw over him.
There's a penalty marker down as the Cowboy defense stays on the field, and so does the Cardinal offense.
Number 24, defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
A very inopportune penalty for the Cowboys, holding against Everson Walls, and that is an automatic first down. That's a 3rd and 14, and Jones batted it away, and the Cardinals keep the ball.
And the Cowboys made 2 big plays, sacking Lomax on 2nd down. Jones with the deflection, but it's all for naught now as Everson Walls is caught for holding.
First down on the 27-yard line. A break for the Cardinals. Earl Farrell is coming off a career high with 110 yards against the Cleveland Browns. Carries it out to the 30-yard line. A pickup of 3 on the play. Mark Whalen with the stop. So with Jordan starting for Mitchell, Farrell can do everything. He has really emerged as an underrated quarterback who people are now taking notice.
The thing about Earl Farrell, he realizes that he has to carry the ball a lot today. He's got to pick up that load because Stump is out. But he expected that coming in this year. Stump Mitchell has had a history of having a lot of injuries. Earl Farrell knows that he's got to pick up the slack today.
2nd down and 7. Cardinals on their 30. Here's Farrell again. And he's run out of bounds at the 33 by Bill Bates, the strong safety, and that will bring up 3rd down. Todd Peete, who did not play against the Browns last week, the left guard with a bruised leg. He comes out of the game, and it'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Cardinals.
Looks like he's just coming out for an equipment repair on his helmet, but you get a pretty good idea why they call that front line of the Cardinals the wide bodies. Peete goes at about 295. And the other guys are just as big, with Tootie Robbins being the heavyweight champ at well over 300.
Pete's weight may be conservative. 2 tight ends with Awald and Novacek. They both good receivers on 3rd and 4. Lomax going for Roy Green, incomplete. Good defense that time by Robert Williams. And that'll bring up 4th down, and the Cardinals will punt. Greg Horn enters the game.
That really was a nice play by Williams. As Roy Green, if he were to make that catch, he had a lot of open field in front of him. Williams came in with just the right timing with the right hand to knock it away.
Horn will be kicking from inside the 20. Kelvin Martin goes back for the Cowboys. That kick will bounce at about the 30. Martin with a chance to return. And he is out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. A 47-yard kick. Martin brought it back 11 yards. And the Cowboys have it for the first time offensively.
Yeah, super.
Yeah, how's it down there?
Yes, sir. Okay, all right.
I could use it just a slight amount more of audio. Slight, not much. Okay.
Look for a long pass early here, okay? So give me an isolation on some wide
1, 2,
receivers.
3, 4. Gotcha.
You. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Just a feeling.
That's fine. Little lower, just a slight bit lower if you can.
Let me see.
I will. It's pretty. I think it's pretty good.
Irvin, give me Irvin.
Okay. Pallure first in the offense before the first play, and the defense before the first play.
Okay, Irvin's not in. Give me Martin, number 83. We got Martin and Alexander starting.
Cowboys have the ball for their first possession, and Steve Pallure, who's coming off his best passing performance of his career despite the loss last week to Philadelphia, looks at a Cardinal defense. Freddie Joe Nunn, Bob Clasby, Steve Albert, and Rod Sadler. The defensive line, the linebackers Anthony Bell, Nico Noga, and E.J. Jr., and the secondary, Carter, Mack, McDonald, and Young. First down up to 31. Herschel Walker with the first play for the Cowboys. Gets about 5, maybe more. Carl Carter drove him out of bounds. Walker and Timmy Newsome are the running backs. Kelvin Martin and Ray Alexander showing good depth for Dallas at wide receiver. Thornton Chandler, the tight end. Up front, it's Dave Weidel, Glenn Titenzor, so changes on the left side. Tom Rafferty is the center. Crawford Kerr and Kevin Gogan, the right side of the line. Weidel played last week, rookie for Darrell Smith, who will also see some action. 2nd and 5 at the 36. 2 tight end alignment for Dallas. Pallure, first pass of the game, completes to Alexander, and Alexander will have a first down just shy of midfield. Carl Carter on the tackle.
Take a look at this from the end zone. The protection is very good as they try to fake a little play action pass here to Herschel Walker. The first play they gave it to Walker, had a nice gain, come right back with the fake of the run and hit Alexander over the middle. Alexander has really turned into a fine possession receiver for the Cowboys.
Herschel Walker had a tremendous game against the Cardinals the first time the teams met. He had a season's best 149 yards on the ground. This time he just barely gets over midfield into Cardinal territory and a pickup of about 2 yards, that's all. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Nico Noga, the middle linebacker, on the stop. But you were talking about Alexander, who caught 8 passes, as did Kelvin Martin against the Eagles. He's a former Canadian Football League star and was a great receiver there. And for a team that lost Michael Irvin, didn't have many receivers, they have shown that they have pretty deep in that spot.
Well, what he has is great size, and he's the type of receiver that catches the ball with his hands. He can reach out and catch it with his hands, doesn't let it get all the way into his body.
2 tight ends, Steve Folsom joins Thornton Chandler. 2nd down and 8. Going deep is Pallure to Alexander. Covering on the play was Cedric Mack. Scores underway around the league. By the way, David Galloway, who was in for 13 plays against the Browns last week, has replaced Rod Sadler at right defensive end. So Dan, with Freddie Joe Nunn and Galloway, if he is healthy, those are two good defensive ends for pass rushing purposes.
Galloway's problem is that he's got two injuries he's working on right now. He's got a plantar fascia problem on the bottom of his left foot, and his thumb has also been injured this year. He's got a pin in his thumb, so he's playing hurt out there, but he's happy to be back.
Sure is. He said it was lonely not playing. 3rd down and 8. Cowboys at the Cardinal 48. Malura can't find a receiver. Penalty marker down. And the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Herschel Walker downfield, and Cardinals with Carl Carter and Travis Curtis, but there's a flag. Here's Bob McElwee. And it'll be against the Cardinals. So on the first possessions for each side, the defense has been guilty of holding, and it'll be an automatic first down.
Holding, number 20, defense, 5 yards, automatic
Travis
first down.
Curtis in the secondary.
Again, in the secondary, Dick, that is the key. Two obvious pass situations in both times. One time the Cowboys were caught for holding, this time the Cardinals, and the Cowboys now move into very good field position.
They have a first down on the 43 of Phoenix. Tom Landry, he told us yesterday, he says if Paul Brown could be fired, no one in this business is immune.
That's a great attitude, really is.
First down on the 43. Timmy Newsome with his first carry of the ball game. Picks up about 3. E.J. Jr. on the stop. We have a Cowboy shaken up. Tom Rafferty, veteran center, is hurting right now. Already the Cowboys are playing without Nate Newton, their starting guard, who is out with a jammed neck. Glenn Titensor is in for him. And while they tend to Tom Rafferty, we'll take a break. Texas Stadium will be back after this. So it looks like Bob White is coming in at guard and Titans are moving to center. Is that may be the case? Check that out. That may be it. Okay.
Titans are still at guard.
Rafferty has walked off the field on his own power, but he'll leave the game, and there'll be a new man, Bob White, who's going in to play center for the Dallas Cowboys. Here are the standings coming into today's action in the NFC East. One game separating the first 4 teams. But look at the division records, which are very important. The Giants have the best division mark. Phoenix is 1-2, but Gene Stallings was telling us last night, Dan, that with 5 division games left, he feels that he has a real good chance to win it if they do well in division play.
And he's semi-satisfied being 4-4 at this point. He would much rather be at 5-3, which he felt they really had a good chance of being.
There's Gene Stallings, 14 years an assistant coach. He called Tom Landry this week. He said, you've been to 5 Super Bowls. I'm just looking for my 5th win. No sympathy from me, but he was supporting Tom all the way. 2nd and 6 for the Cowboys on the Cardinal 31. Timmy Newsome is stopped practically in his tracks, and another penalty marker is down. E.J. Jr. was there to meet Newsome.
This is really what killed the Cowboys last week, are holding penalties against this inexperienced offensive line right now. You got Bob White at centers just in his 2nd year. Titensor is really the only guy with any real experience, but he was cut earlier this year. He's in his 7th year. And
holding, number 65, offense, 2nd down.
Bob White.
There's Bob White, the replacement. So it's difficult to come off the bench. Let's take a look at it now. White is the center. Just keep your eye on him. Let's see how he holds. There's the left hand reaching out to stop Noga, and the referee, there's his right hand reaching into his back pocket.
Tom Rafferty has a bruised right thigh, and he may be back for the Cowboys.
It's important that he keeps that bruised thigh stretched out so it doesn't tighten up on him on the sideline.
Cowboys back to the Cardinal 49, 2nd down and 16. Newsom doesn't get much, maybe a yard. Tim McDonald and Nico Noga were in on the play. McDonald has played very well since replacing Leonard Smith, who was traded to Buffalo earlier in the season.
Well, I talked to him about that exact thing, Dick, and he said, you know, I asked him, what did the trade mean to you? He said, well, it means that my career is now starting. It's time for me. The door is open. I've got to step through it. I've got to become an NFL safety right now. He's not real happy with the way he's playing. He still feels he has to think too much. He'd like to just get out there and react.
Darryl Smith replaces Dave Weidel at left tackle. He's a good pass protector. 3rd and 15. Ballure. Incomplete for Everett Gay. He was covered all the way by Lonnie Young, the free safety. It looked like a pass that Gay might get, and the crowd is looking for an interference call against the Cardinals, to no avail.
The very last second, Young comes over, makes contact, but that's one of those plays we've seen all year long where the referees are just going to let it slide because both men supposedly are going for the ball, but it's also a relaxing of the rules as far as pass interference is concerned this year.
Mike Saxon will kick. By Sikahema is back for the Cardinals. No score. Still in the first quarter. Good high kick by Saxon. And it's down inside the 5-yard line by Dallas. Great hustle. Manny Hendricks and Ron Francis. It was Francis and Hendricks combining, and a 44-yard kick, and Saxon has been incredible this year and having punts not returned.
Yeah, Francis looks a little bit like Ozzie Smith here on a short hop as he bats it back onto the playing field. Then Hendricks is there to put the ball dead, but got to give a lot of credit to Ron Francis. He hustled down there. He beat the ball, actually. He was there when it came down.
Dallas struggling with a 2-6 record this year. Their 3rd worst start in history, but they have the Cardinals hemmed in their own 4-yard line. Tony Jordan, rookie from Kansas State, starting in place of Mitchell, brings it out to the 9. Eugene Lockhart, the middle linebacker, was there to stop Jordan.
Jordan's been used primarily as a short yardage and goal line runner this year. He's got to produce all over the field today if the Cardinals are going to be successful.
This is his 2nd NFL start. He gained 34 yards and 12 carries against the Browns last week. Brings up a 2nd and 5 on the Cardinal 9. Jordan again. Little push from the back. He'll be short of a first down, though, by about 3 yards. Bill Bates making the tackle.
Well, let's take a look at Bill Bates. He is outside our picture to the right, but he's going to come all the way in, and then in the pile, he's going to push right into that pile. He's coming on the safety blitz from the left side of the field. There he is. Now he's just going to jam that pile up.
Bill Bates. 3rd and 2 on the 12. Lomax over the top. Was anyone's ball for a few moments. J.T. Smith was the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 4th down.
That's really the way it's been going all year for the Cowboys. So close and yet so far away. This should have been an interception, and if it was, it might have been returned for a touchdown. The ball bounces off of J.T. Smith, off of Michael Downs, and then it falls to the ground. There's a good hit on Lomax if you're a Cowboy fan. I'm sure that Mrs. Lomax didn't like that shot from Ron Burton.
So now Greg Horn will have to kick from the end zone, and Kelvin Martin is standing in midfield. Cowboys looking in good field position, perhaps, with 7:43 remaining in the first quarter. Great kick by Horn. Martin doesn't get to midfield. It's still good field position, but I'm sure the Cowboys were thinking of better things. 46-yard kick. Anthony Bell stops Kelvin Martin. No score in the first quarter here at Texas Stadium. We'll be back after this.
Okay. Okay. Oh, this is nice. You go back a little bit farther. Okay, what about the end zone? Is there a picture? Won't see him. It follows the ball. Okay. All right, let's go with that. Craig, Ron Wolfley has been in 2 as a special teams player of the year. Randy is assigned to Wolfley all over the field today. Going to be a great battle. You don't expect to see a future Hall of Famer on the special teams. That just shows you what Randy White is all about. Just wants to contribute any way he can.
And he has a legacy to the great Cowboy teams of the not-so-recent past. Pelluer on first down. Nearly intercepted, intended for Kelvin Martin. E.J. Jr. was back defending on the play. Martin was open for a while.
Again, it's on the play-action pass. Martin is crossing over the middle. What Pelluer does not see is E.J. Jr. dropping off in his zone coverage. There's E.J. E.J. should have made this grab for the interception. With the injuries to the offensive line, it's very imperative that Pelluer has a big day throwing the ball. They're not going to have the great success with Herschel Walker like Walker's used to having against the Cardinals because of the injuries so far to that front line.
Cowboys move into their shift on 2nd and 10 on their own 47-yard line. Now they spread Alexander wider to the left. Pelluer's looking pass is intercepted by Carter. It was deflected off a Cowboy receiver and intercepted, and a penalty marker is down. It'll be against Dallas, and the penalty will be refused. So the first turnover of the game, Carl Carter, and here's Bob McElwee.
Holding 66 offense. Penalty is declined.
That's the right tackle, Kevin Gogan.
Well, let's take a look at the isolated replay here. We have 2 men actually in the area for the Cowboys. There you see Thornton Chandler. I'm not sure if Pelluer was going to Martin or to Chandler. I am sure, though, who ended up with it, and that's Carl Carter in the wrong jersey.
Well, the Cardinal cornerbacks have been under a lot of criticism, but Carter has intercepted 2 in as many games. First down on the 38-yard line, no score, 7:21 to go first quarter. Neil Lomax. Penalty marker is down, and Lomax's pass is again batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Well, the Cowboys were offside, Dick, so Lomax had a free play. He was going with the right place with this ball.
Offside, 95, defense, first down.
Roy Green had a step on Robert Williams down on a post pattern, and if that ball wasn't knocked down, that would have been close to being 6 points for the Cards.
Mark Whalen, who's starting in place of Kevin Brooks, who suffered numbness in his left arm this week. Whalen offsides on that play. Will bring up first down and 5 for the Cardinals on their 44. Earl Farrell, first man up, gets the first down for the Cardinals, just shy of midfield. Gary Cobb making the stop on Farrell. Cardinals' aim, number 1 in this game, according to Gene Stallings, was to protect Neil Lomax and then do better on third down conversions. Despite the fact that they were 4th coming in the league, he doesn't feel in the last couple of weeks they converted them. But now they have a first down at virtually midfield.
Well, if they give the ball to Earl and let him run up behind that huge offensive line, they won't be in very many third down situations. They picked up 6 that time.
6:40 remaining, first quarter, no score. Here's Jordan, and Jordan will be dumped for a loss. Jim Jeffcoat was the first man to hit him, and a loss of 1 on the play.
This was a dangerous play for the Phoenix Cardinals as Lomax pitches it back. It's not really a toss to the outside. It's right up the middle, and Jeffcoat got off the line of scrimmage right now, beat Louis Sharp, and got in on the play.
They'll mark it no gain. And it'll be second down and 10. 3 wide receivers now for the Cardinals as Ernie Jones, the rookie from Indiana, comes out wide to the right, and Jay Novacek, the second tight end, who virtually is a wide receiver, also wide right, and now in motion. Lomax, pass completed to Jones, just short of a first down, missed by a yard. Michael Downs and Manny Hendricks on the tackle.
It's a man they call Indiana Jones for obvious college reasons, but he looks a little bit like Roy Green with the way he found that open area there. Made the grab and then backed up as close to that chain marker as he could get.
Well, we talked about third down conversion problems lately for the Cardinals. They face one now, 3rd and 1. They have failed in their first 2 conversions from third down. 2 tight ends with Ewald and Novacek on the Cowboy 42. Farrell stumbles ahead and gets the first down, still upright, and finally brought down by a host of Cowboys, including Michael Downs and Ron Burton. A gain of 9 and a first down inside the 35.
This was an interesting call, not so much because it was just a handoff right up the middle to Farrell, but the fact that the Cardinals were in a passing set. They get a great block by the center right there, and Lance Smith. Derek Kennard and Smith open up a nice hole. This is what Farrell likes to run behind. He likes to see his offensive lineman go hat to hat with the defensive line, and then he'll pick his hole.
Kennard, by the way, playing with a broken little finger in his right hand. First down on the 33 of the Cowboys. No score. Lomax wide open has Novacek, and Novacek is out of bounds. May have another first down for the Cardinals. Michael Downs was defending on the play. It is a first down with ease. 14, and they're now at the 20-yard line.
Lomax has great protection this time. This is the best protection he's had, as Novacek will come in motion and then work outside against Michael Downs. But you see Neal steps up in the pocket. He's not going to drop back 5 or 10 to 12 yards in that pocket. He likes to set short, let those big wide bodies take care of him right up the middle.
Tom Landry looking at the defensive list. That was the first pass on first down for Neal Lomax. He's on the Cowboy 19 on a fake draw. Lomax gets hit. Tried to get it to Farrell, who was wide open, but he had to rush it with great force coming in from Ron Burton, the outside linebacker.
The Cardinals, the Cowboys rather, realize they're not getting enough pressure on Lomax from just their front 4, so they're going to send a linebacker here. Burton comes in and does a fine job. Farrell's trying to find his way through the mess there, and there's the lick to the quarterback. That's something the Cardinals don't want to see today. That's a very tender hip that Lomax is landing on every time he hits this turf.
2nd and 10. Cardinals on the Cowboy 19. Earl Farrell is stopped by Danny Noonan. Picked up a couple. Manny Hendricks and Ron Francis, the extra defensive backs, coming in, and the Cowboys now in their 4-0 defense. We're at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Dick Stockton and Dan Fouts as the Phoenix Cardinals and Dallas Cowboys battle in the first quarter. No score with under 4 minutes to go.
And the crowd is reacting to Randy White coming in the game for Mark Whalen.
3rd and 7. Lomax, incomplete, intended for J.T. Smith, and Francis and Michael Downs were defending on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down, and the Cardinals will send in their field goal team led by Al Del Greco.
Well, you got to make the grab over the middle. This was a tough catch for JT to make. 2 men standing right there. But the important thing is that Lomax did not throw an interception. He's got his team in position to get at least 3 points out of this drive, and that's most important.
He wanted points early. He'll take what he can get. So Al Del Greco, 7 for 12 with a 33-yard attempt. He missed 2 out of 3 last week. Low snap, and they don't get it off. Cliff Stout holding. It was a low snap from center. Scott Dill and the Cowboys come away unscathed.
Well, this is the first game for the Cardinals on AstroTurf this year, and this ball should have been caught by Stout. The important thing is, though, is he got on the ball and did not allow the recovery for the touchdown for the Cowboys.
Dallas ball when we come back. Boys who are right up there offensively, but that's in yards gained, not necessarily in points scored. Have been fizzling thus far, back and forth. Now it's the Cowboys' chance again on their 24-yard line. 1st and 10. 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Herschel Walker looking for running room, and the Cardinals have snuffed all running attempts thus far. Freddie Joe Nunn and Anthony Bell combine to make the stop. There's the total offense story. So you're looking at 2 of the top 5 and pretty good heavyweights among Cincinnati, San Francisco, and Washington. But today it's been a different story thus far in the first quarter.
Well, and that's not unusual, Dick. You have 2 teams that are very, very familiar with each other. Gene Stallings coached the Cowboys defensive backs for 14 years. He knows their system, but yet they know how he thinks also.
So it's kind of a chess game. Battle of wills as far as the coaches go. 2nd down and 6. Walker again trying to go outside. And he's wrestled down shy of the 30-yard line. Tim McDonald hustling. So the Cardinals are pursuing well and watching Herschel Walker, who burned them badly in their previous meeting in Phoenix.
Well, they must feel pretty confident, the Cowboys about running to their right side against Freddie Joe Nunn and Anthony Bell. They've run about 4 or 5 or 6 running plays now. It seems like every one of them has been testing the right side of their offensive line and the left side of the Cardinal defensive line.
3rd down and 5 for the Cowboys on their 29. Steve Pallure has connected on only 1 of 5 passes for 14 yards and has thrown an interception already. Pallure gets time, and his pass is really picked off by Tim McDonald. It was intended for Herschel Walker. That was too close for comfort for the Dallas Cowboys, and it'll be 4th down, Dallas.
Well, this ball should have been intercepted by McDonald. He broke on the ball well. It was an out pattern, and he had it covered by with a really easily. Here we'll look at it from the end zone, and Pallure has the time. He just doesn't get it out far enough in front of the receiver.
Mike Saxon will kick, and Vi Sikahema is back deep for the Cardinals. Line drive kick, Sikahema on the 24. There's another flag down, and Sikahema is dropped short of the 40-yard line by Garth Jacks. A 47-yard kick. Bob McElwee will explain the penalty marker. .227 remaining in the first quarter. Closest thing to a score was an Al Del Greco miss from 33 yards. It'll be against the Cardinals, and that'll set them back. They look like they had good field position.
They might even make this a 1st down, Dick. If it was holding before the ball was punted, then it will come back. The Cowboys will have the ball 1st down.
Holding 51 defense before the kick.
That's a big one.
Automatic 1st down.
You're right. You're right on it, Dan.
Once in a while, you know, you get lucky.
Ricky Hundley was holding, and so the Cowboys keep the ball and will have a 1st down to boot in a scoreless game. And Steve Pallure now. Pallure last week had a couple of tough decisions down the stretch, and when they criticized Landry, Pallure should share in some of that.
Well, the quarterback has got to have what they call an internal clock. He's got to know just how many seconds are left on that 45-second clock. That's where he really ran into trouble last week, burning 3 of his timeouts in the first quarter.
Herschel Walker on 1st down. Starting from the 34, carries it out to the 37-yard line. Nico Noga, the middle linebacker, makes the stop, and there is another penalty marker down. That's the 6th penalty of the game, and it'll be against Dallas. Looks to be a holding call. Last week, the Cowboys were penalized 16 times.
Holding 68, offense 1st down.
That's Crawford Kerr, the right guard. So everyone's gotten in the act up front for the Cowboys penalty-wise.
Well, here's Big Daddy Crawford Kerr right here in your screen, and he'll reach out and he'll pull down Freddie Joe Nunn. Now he'll go through and get the linebacker. Again, a grip with the left hand on the shoulder pads. That is a real ticky-tack call for holding. You can see that on almost any play. You know, I wonder about the confidence of the Cowboys offense running the ball all the way to the right. Does that mean they're worried about Titensor and Wydell on the left side, or do they just feel that there's a weakness on the right side for the Cardinals?
That's a good point. It may be their own offensive line situation. 1st down and 20 at the 24. Michael Irvin is in the ball game, and Herschel Walker gets nowhere. Bob Clasby leads the charge for the Cardinals, and a loss back to the 20-yard line.
Well, the Cardinals know that they're being tested on this side. Here's Clasby and number 79 and Freddie Joe Nunn. They're going to get in right now. This is, again, another play to the right side. And they say, hey, come on. We can stop you guys.
Not showing great confidence in the left side of that offensive line for the Cowboys. As you see, the Cardinals have held their opponents under 100 yards in 5 straight games, and no indication that the Cowboys will break that today. Second down and 24. Pressure on Pallur. He gets away, and the pass is caught by Alexander. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 28. He's short of a first down by some 15 yards, however. Tim McDonald made the stop, but Ken Harvey, the top draft choice out of University of California, put on quite a rush on Pallur.
This is an outstanding job by Pallur, number one, evading this tackle like you said, but then keeping his eyes open downfield. An outstanding job by Ray Alexander coming down the sidelines, as that's a vicious lick by Freddie Joe Nunn right to the back of Pallur.
3rd and long, 3rd and 16 for the Cowboys. By the way, report on Tom Rafferty, it's his knee that is being iced now, and the word is he'll probably not return. He bruised the right thigh, now they're working on the knee. And Pallur calls a timeout. Well, they're behind schedule. They called 3 timeouts, the Cowboys, in the first quarter alone against the Eagles in the first half last week.
Well, we really didn't expect them to keep that pace up, but it looks like they're back on it. Using a timeout at this stage of the game when it's 3rd down and 15, your chances of making a first down aren't that great. I would rather see Pallur save that timeout for a play later in the game at the end of the first half. The score is 0-0 right now. Heck, if it's 3rd and 20, you're just as bad a shape as you are when it's 3rd and 15. So take the delay of game penalty and save that timeout.
Cowboys have had a lot of changes in their offensive line. Tom Rafferty right now had his knee iced and probably will not be back. Dallas has moved Bob White into the center position, and of course that's part of the overall problem that the Cowboys face in the criticism of Tom Landry. They got a young team. They're not as good as they used to be, obviously, and they've got to grow, and Pallur has to grow, and Landry is trying to be patient with them.
Well, and any team needs to be successful, needs an offensive line that can dominate in one of 2 areas, either as run blocking line or as a pass blocking line. This is a patchwork group we're seeing today for the Cowboys. They're not having any success doing either right now.
3rd and 16, Cowboys on their 28. 3 wide receivers for Pallur. Up the middle, overthrows Alexander. And it'll be 4th down. And once again, Freddie Joe Nunn and Ken Harvey put a great rush on Steve Pallur.
Well, Freddie Joe is working against Gogan here, and he's going to go right out around him and make a tremendous hit on Pallur. They're trying to zone block, as you can see, but Bob White, or rather Crawford Kerr, is not there in time to prevent the lick on Pallur.
So Vai Sikahema is back deep again, and Mike Saxon will kick with a 1:06 remaining in the first quarter. No score at Texas Stadium. Another short line drive kick, a penalty marker down. Here's Sikahema. And he's upended at the 37-yard line by Manny Hendricks, but there's a flag down. Two teams trying to break losing streaks today. Cardinals a game out of first, and the Cowboys at 2-6 at the bottom of the NFC East.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Cowboys, and let's see what happens on this play. We'll probably move it up about 15 yards for Phoenix.
That flag was thrown in a hurry. As soon as that ball was in the air, as soon as it bounced, we got the flag.
That was one of the wide men going down under the punt, and he was being harassed on the sidelines, and I got a feeling he might have swung back at the guy. It's the old case where it's always the second guy that gets penalized on a altercation like that.
Look at the group around the officials, red shirts and white shirts, interested observers to say the least.
What they're trying to figure out right now is possession. Who had possession at the time of the foul? If the ball was not kicked, that changes the call of the referee.
Personal foul, 48 defense, post possession, hitting a man out of bounds.
Reggie Phillips is the only number 48.
Well, the first indication was that it was against the Cowboys, and now they changed their mind. They're going to flag the Cardinals.
So they're going to have the yardage tacked the other way to Dallas's favor. Reggie Phillips, the former Chicago Bear, guilty of unsportsmanlike conduct. We have under a minute remaining in the first quarter, 57 seconds to go. He'll mark it off. And it'll be starting at the 17-yard line.
Well, I don't think Reggie Phillips was even in the ball game. If we can pick him up on the left side of this picture here, and let's see how he got called for the penalty. There's Reggie. He looked like he was just watching.
Maybe he said, maybe he was rooting on the sideline. Maybe you can't do that. And now, I wonder whether we're having a review here. Nope, no review. It's not one of those plays that you would review because it didn't really involve change of possession. But that was questionable to say the least. 1st and 10 on the 17 for the Cardinals. No score. First quarter. Lomax, Farrell with a good catch out to the 25. Eugene Lockhart making the tackle, a gain of 8.
Earl Farrell can catch the ball out of the backfield, as can Stump Mitchell. Very important part of the Cardinal attack. Farrell's averaging about 7 yards per reception, but the more impressive statistic is that 5 yards per rush average that he carries.
He now is the leading rusher on the team, with Stump Mitchell having missed now 2 games. Farrell is the top rusher. This may be the last play of the first quarter. 2nd down and 2. Considerable shifting for the Cardinals. That's their style. Tony Jordan, close to first down yardage, appears to have it. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. Ed Jones and Jim Jeffcoat on the stop. And that'll do it. That is the end of the first quarter here at Texas Stadium, with about 40,000 on hand. No score between the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Here at Texas Stadium, Dick Stockton and Dan Fouts. No score between the Cardinals and the Cowboys. You see their secondary over there. And the Cardinals have not won here in Dallas since 1984, and last year they had a chance to move into the playoffs with a victory over the Cowboys in the last game of the regular season, and the Cowboys spoiled that party.
Well, we talked about the familiarity of both coaching staffs, and I asked Gene Stallings who he thought had the advantage. He said the guy with Herschel Walker on their team.
Ernie Staudter said the other way. He says, I think the Cardinals do. First down, Tony Jordan. Jordan pushes his way up to the 35-yard line, gain of 7. Eugene Lockhart on the stop. They like Jordan and Tony Jeffrey, 2 rookies who earned spots in the backfield for the Cardinals on opening day. And by the way, this is the first game since the opener that the Cardinals are playing on artificial turf. The last 7 games have been played on natural grass.
That artificial turf will be a factor if Lomax keeps getting bounced on it.
He's been warming up when the Cowboys have had the ball just to stay loose. 2nd and 3 at the 35 of Phoenix. Here's Earl Farrell. They'll check it, Jordan, and Jordan is close, but maybe a little shy of first down yardage. Mark Whalen and Eugene Lockhart on the stop. Take a look at the first quarter numbers, and they're not pretty. No score on the board, and not too many yards gained by either side.
Well, the penalties have really been a factor too. That and dropped interceptions. Both teams have had shots at the big play by the interception, but have come up a little bit short.
The only interception was by Carl Carter, but the Cardinals failed to materialize. The field goal snap got messed up. 3rd down and 1. And it's Farrell. He's got the first down. Charges forward to the 40-yard line. Mark Whalen making the stop.
You get the feeling that a big play is going to happen sometime in this game right now. either for the Cowboys with an interception or fumble recovery, or the Cardinals hitting a bomb.
I'm surprised we haven't seen that much shifting from the Cardinals, or for that matter, the Cowboys, and really going for the long passes, which has been the trademark, particularly of Phoenix.
Well, both teams run a 4-man line. It's really a traditional 4-3. You're not going to fool them with a lot of shifting. They're going to be there all day in their positions.
First down, Cardinals on their 40, opening minutes of the second quarter. Lomax under great pressure, and down he goes. Ron Burton, who's been struggling this year, but last year had a tremendous game against these same Cardinals with 17 tackles and a forced fumble. Better when he plays instinctively.
Let's take a look at Burton here. He looks to me like he's coming right now. Look at his head. He's got his foot back. He's trying to fake a little bit. In fact, he fakes the Earl Farrell into taking a linebacker that was coming up the middle. Not enough men to protect Lomax that time, and that's something the Cardinals have got to do if they're going to win this ball game, is keep Neil Lomax healthy.
Loss of 11 yards on the play. Doug Flutie and the Patriots lead the Bears. Second down and 21 now. Back to the 29. 3 wide receivers. Make it 4 now for the Cardinals. Heavily flagged now. And we may have a delay of the game call against Phoenix. That's what it is. 5 yards.
Delay of the game, offense.
You know, I played in this league 15 years, and about 6-7 years ago, they brought these clocks into the game, and I thought it was a great idea because it let me know exactly how much time I had to snap the ball and get the play off. I just can't understand what happens with these quarterbacks. They can't look down the field and see these clocks. They're both at ground level, right behind the goalpost, and they get called for these delay of game penalties.
It's amazing. It's right smack in front of them.
Well, even here in Dallas, they got 2 on each end, which is awful nice.
Second down and 26. Lomax in the shotgun. Again, pressure on Lomax. And Manny Hendricks defends J.T. Smith with a fine play in the secondary.
Both secondaries have come under a lot of fire recently, and both secondaries today are playing outstanding man-to-man defense. Lomax has the time, but that's just great coverage by Manny Hendricks.
Interesting, as we have 12:01 to go here in the second quarter, Dan, is that neither J.T. Smith or Roy Green have caught a pass thus far. 2 of the most prolific pass receivers in the NFL have been shut out.
Well, Roy Green, he's used to the challenge from the defensive backs like Everson Walls and Darrell Green. He normally does well. It's going to be important for him to get on track right now.
Randy White is in the defensive line for the Cowboys on 3rd and 26. Lomax shows a little mobility and runs out of bounds, well short of the necessary yardage. He had to get to midfield. He picked up 12, chased out by Jim Jeffcoat, and that will bring up 4th down, and the Cardinals will have to kick.
Yeah, you can see the little pad on his left hip there, covering the. I'll get it there somewhere. But you know, running 20 or 30 yards out of bounds like that is not an easy thing for that hip either. The Cardinal receivers didn't help him out much by coming back and getting to an open area for him.
He still would rather not talk about the hip much, but it's been hurting him. And as you said, 1 shot and he can be out of the game. Greg Horn with a nifty kick. Kelvin Martin on the 15. Martin out to the 34. Penalty marker is down. Mark Walchak makes the stop. A 49-yard kick, a 19-yard return. And Folsom put quite a block on Ricky Hundley. But there's a penalty marker, and it'll be against Dallas.
But it won't be against Steve Folsom. He got a career hit on Ricky Hundley.
Illegal block above the waist, number 46, during the return, first down.
They're really making these punt returns exciting, aren't they? Got about 3 penalties on him already.
Including one by Reggie Phillips, who was out of bounds, but he might have been in action when he committed that personal foul a little while ago. Talk about in this one, a fumbled field goal snap prevented Al Del Greco from getting off a 3-point attempt. Tom Rafferty has a bruised knee, expected not to return, and a load of penalties thus far in this game with 11:38 remaining in the first half. No score still between the Cardinals and the Cowboys.
When they traded Tony Dorsett to the Broncos earlier this year, they renamed the Dallas Cowboys from America's team to Herschel's team. Well, Herschel better get it going. He's rushed 5 times for just 8 yards so far.
That's after 149 in the first game between the teams in Phoenix this year. First down on the 22. Ricky Hundley is the new middle linebacker, number 51 for the Cardinals. And on the reverse, Kelvin Martin goes out of bounds and just missed a first down by less than a yard. Anthony Bell on the stop. Good speed by the 5'9" Martin.
Yeah, and if he had a little bit more speed, he would have got around the corner and really picked up a fine gain. Good fake to Walker and good execution by Pallure. Here's Martin coming along, and this is really a fine play by Anthony Bell to push him out of bounds. Really prevented a big play there.
Still, it's the best run that the Cowboys have had today. Picked up 9. It'll be 2nd and 1. In fact, they bring the sticks over to the near side to measure. We can't tell from up here if they missed it. They didn't miss by much. And there you see just about a little more than the length of the football. Rams leading the Saints 6-0 in a big game in the NFC West. The Eagles out ahead of Atlanta. Scores along the CBS Sports Wire. Big game in the AFC Central.
Field goal kickers are having a good day so far.
Al Del Greco wanted to get involved too, but he never had a chance with that bobbled snap. And the closest thing we've had to a score in this game. So the Cowboys with a 2nd down and 1 on the 31-yard line. They have 2 tight ends with Thornton Chandler and Steve Folsom. Herschel Walker, the lone setback. Walker very close to first down yardage, but it wasn't easy if he did make it. Anthony Bell makes the stop.
No, he lost yardage on that, Dick. About 2 yards there as Bell came up again. I'm wondering about the Cowboys' use of Steve Folsom. We talked with Doug Cosby yesterday, and he indicated to us that he would play. He has been nursing a sore Achilles tendon all year. He expects to have surgery on it in the offseason. But I wonder if he might have re-injured it in the pregame warmups. He was out there running around with the rest of the ball players, but I haven't seen him in the lineup yet.
You're right. He expected to play, and he was up. He's getting more involved in the offense. 3rd and 2 now, following the loss on the 30. Here is Herschel Walker. And down he goes. He does not get the first down. Gets to the 30-yard line where Tim McDonald and Ricky Hundley combine to make the stop. And I don't remember the last time Herschel Walker looked as futile carrying the ball as he has today, as the Cowboys continue to go off the right side of that offensive line and have come up with nothing.
Well, the play calling is really suspect. All running plays, at least all that I can remember, have been to the right side. The Cardinals are just stuffing it. Carl Carter came up and really met Walker that time and prevented the first down.
So Mike Saxon will be kicking again for the Cowboys, and Vi Sikahema goes deep for the Cardinals. Still no score here in Dallas. Sikahema with a chance to return from the 33 and gets it out to the 45-yard line, a return of 12 yards. Lockhart on the stop. We'll see what the Cardinals can do in the scoreless game when we return.
God, I hope so. Well, give me Roy Green again. He's got to make a play here sooner or later. I tell you what, Fish.
Who will? Yeah. Sometimes it's Farrell. Is this a reset? We're at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, and the empty seats are obvious here as the Cowboys and Cardinals are scoreless in what's been a lethargic game. No score with 10:33 to go in the second quarter. They did not sell out by 19,000 in time to lift the blackout, and they have double-digit tickets available for the rest of the schedule on the Cowboys slate. 1st and 10 at the 45 for the Cardinals. Lomax throwing behind Roy Green, incomplete.
There's some type of mix-up there between the communication with Lomax and Green. Obviously, Lomax didn't want a slant pattern. He threw the ball behind Green. Sometimes the quarterback and the receiver have to read the defense on the run. That's the way the game is played now. It's almost like a basketball game where the players are moving around in constant movement.
What could light a fire under somebody in this game?
Well, it's a big play. It's got to do it. Turnover or a touchdown on a long pass or long run.
On 2nd and 10, Tony Jordan. Stop for no gain. That'll bring up 3rd down. Michael Downs and Eugene Lockhart in on the play. Each team has gotten into the other's territory just once thus far. As we mentioned earlier, the Cardinals have struggled playing here at Texas Stadium.
And their head coach, Gene Stallings, has struggled when he's played the Cowboys. He's lost 4 out of 5 to his former team.
Well, maybe he shouldn't call encouragement during the week to Tom Landry.
You think he fired him up a little, huh?
He might have. That'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Cardinals on their 45-yard line. Just under 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Lomax has time. He's going deep. Incomplete, intended for Roy Green, and covering was Robert Williams. So there is the Cardinal version of the long pass attempt, trying to get something going in this scoreless tie.
Well, and Roy Green has to turn into a defensive back here to prevent the interception by Robert Williams. There you see the left hand going over and distracting Williams at the right time. And again, Lomax gets decked. This time it's Danny Noonan.
4th down, and Greg Horn will kick. 7th punt of the game coming up. Kelvin Martin back for the Cowboys. Martin wheels it on the 12. And he's down at the 22-yard line. Mark Walshak on the stop. 42-yard kick. Coming up next on CBS Sports, a rematch of last year's playoff game between the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams are 5-3, chasing their respective divisional leaders. It's really a crucial game for both clubs who are trailing in their division. That's game 2 of our today's doubleheader coming up next on CBS Sports, and Steve Young will be the quarterback for the Niners.
Everybody remembers last year in that playoff game as he came off the bench and tried to rally the Niners after they fell behind the Vikings. We'll see how he can do with the start of the game.
1st down on the 22 for Dallas. Ballure looking to run. And he gets to the 25 and a pickup of 3. Freddie Joe Nunn was there.
Steve's getting a lot of free advice around the stadium. See Steve run. See Steve slide.
You know, fans can be tough, as you may remember on occasion.
Yeah, it looks like my handwriting, too.
You know, Ballure had his best running effort against the Cardinals as far as the number of times he ran. He threw the fewest passes against Phoenix. It was a great running contest for Dallas. They rushed very well, but they've come up empty today. 2nd down. Ballure pass intended for Alexander, incomplete. Carl Carter was right there.
Carl Carter's right there talking to Alexander. He's not going to let him get a cheap one on him. That ball did bounce. Alexander made a nice attempt to get his hands underneath it, but the referees were right on the spot.
New England ahead of Chicago. There's a shocker, 20-7. That should give Minnesota some incentive, and Jim McMahon is out of that Chicago Bear game with a strained right knee.
Atlanta leads Philadelphia. Crazy year this year in the NFL.
Beginning of the second half of the season. Cowboys are 0 for 4 on 3rd down conversion. They need 7 yards. Ballure, and it hits the official. The umpire got hit in the back. Dennis Riggs. Good play by Riggs.
Well, let's take a look at it. Here is Riggs right here. He's number 30, and Ballure is going to drill him right in the shoulder. And that ball, if it's complete, it's a 1st down. That's just the kind of year that it's been for the Cowboys.
Kelvin Martin was the intended receiver. He might have been open. So it's 4th down, and Mike Saxon will boot it away, and Vai Sikahema goes back for the Cardinals at the 35. Looking for running room. Danger. Sikahema is down at the 49-yard line. A 14-yard return. Cornell Burbage making the stop. So the Cardinals have good field position, but that's been a misnomer today, Dan, to talk about teams having good field position. It certainly hasn't affected the game that much.
And Sikahema is the type of guy that can light a fire under this Phoenix ball club. The punters I see right now, they're icing their feet down and getting ready for the second half.
8:29 remaining in the first half. The closest thing we had to a score was a 33-yard field goal attempt by Al Del Greco, in which the snap was bobbled. Otherwise, nothing even close in this one. There's Tony Jordan up the middle. Gets turned over and picks up about 4 yards and gets into Cowboy territory. Jim Jeffcoat and Eugene Lockhart on the play.
It's kind of like that old Ohio State football game, you know, where it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Well, this is the 1980s. Now we're playing on an AstroTurf. Now it's 3 yards in an AstroTurf burn.
Why do you think this game has been so conservative and so close to the vest?
It's almost like they're afraid to open up and really give it a shot. But the Cowboys defensive backs and the Cardinal defensive backs are winning the matchups on the passing game.
2nd down and 6. Farrell to the 45. It'll be 3rd and about 4. Gary Cobb and Bill Bates on the stop. There's Cobb, who is the leading sacker amongst the linebackers, former Detroit Lion and Philadelphia Eagle, and the Dallas Cowboy linebacking core had been depleted because of injuries, and this week they released Mike Hegman, a veteran of 13 years with the Cowboys. He got his walking papers, so a sign of the times in Dallas.
Really is. They have to go with the youth movement. Tom Landry believes he can turn things around. He's got another year left on his contract, and he likes the challenge.
3rd and 4 for the Cardinals. Lomax. No receivers open. Now he's got Roy Green, and it's tipped away, and a great defensive play by Robert Williams. Terrific play by Williams.
Williams has had a fantastic day. He knows he's going to be challenged every Sunday. When his teammate is Everson Walls, quarterbacks aren't going to throw at Everson. They're going to come at young Robert Williams. He's up to the challenge there. That's just a wonderful balletic type of move.
Fastest defensive back, and Ron Francis hasn't been able to get back in the starting lineup. So it is 4th down, and Greg Horn will kick. Kelvin Martin will go back again for the Cowboys. No score, 2nd quarter, 7:02 remaining in the first half. Jeffcoat coming in to try to get a piece of it, and a fair catch called for by Martin. It goes out of bounds. There's a penalty flag down as well. 37-yard kick, and if it is against the Cowboys, and it appears to be against Phoenix, Horn did his job. Cardinals would have had the Cowboys hemmed in, but now they'll bring it back.
Ineligible down on a kick, number 53. 4th down.
Wayne Davis, the linebacker. So now Horn will have to do the booting once more.
Boy, he would like to have had that punt. It went out inside the 10-yard line. A punter just loves that. In fact, a lot of them have that type of incentive clause built into their contracts.
Cowboy cornerback Ron Francis has a pulled groin muscle, and he probably will not return. So that's 2 Cowboys. Center Tom Rafferty and Ron Francis, one of the nickelbacks, out of action. Here's Horn to kick again. Again, Kelvin Martin is deep for the Cowboys. Very nearly, and they're going to call running into the kicker against Dallas. Fair catch called for by Martin, and Garth Jacks runs into Greg Horn, and the Cardinals will keep the ball and 5 yards run off. But they needed 5 yards. They needed 8 yards for the first down, so they'll still have to kick it.
It's a judgment now as to whether this was blatant. If it was blatant, it would be 15 yards and an automatic first down. It appears, though, that it was just running into the kicker.
Running into the kicker. Defense declined. First down.
Well, it must have been only for 5 yards. That's why they declined it. And they liked the field position as it is now with the Cowboys down inside their 15-yard line.
Well, next Saturday, CBS Sports presents regional college football action. Tommy Hudson leads 13th ranked LSU against the Alabama Crimson Tide.
LSU is 5-2, and they had a great win yesterday over Mississippi, 31-20.
And that's a battle for the Sugar Bowl, perhaps. Others will see two Western Athletic Conference powers battle it out. University of Texas El Paso Miners against undefeated Wyoming. Coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern next Saturday on CBS Sports. First down on the 13 for the Cowboys. 6:47 remaining in the first half. 0-0. Ballour's pass nearly picked off by E.J. Jr. Intended for Ray Alexander, and that would have been big trouble for Dallas.
Well, E.J.'s 0 for 2 here. This is him right here. He gets a tremendously quick read on this short pass by the Cowboys. He breaks on it, and he has got to make that catch. That's 6 points for the Cardinals if he does. 2 passes now that E.J.'s had in his hands. He's going to have to find some stickum out there somewhere.
Cardinals have the only turnover in the game, an interception by Carl Carter in the first quarter. 2nd and 10. Here's Herschel Walker, who has averaged 1 yard per carry prior to that play. He's brought down by Tim McDonald and Ricky Hundley. That'll bring up 3rd down for Dallas. Herschel Walker, whose wife got into the act this week. Herschel's wife kind of criticized his running style. And Herschel said, you know, she has a point. I haven't been running that well. So it's coming from everywhere.
She feels that he's been a little hesitant at the point of attack. She has watched him for many, many years. She knows what she likes when she sees him run, and he's not providing it for her just yet.
3rd and 5 at the 18. Ballour. Alexander can't hold on. I guess it gets to that in a game like this where everyone is so tentative, no one's trying anything big, and people can't make and execute the normal.
The confidence factor on the Cowboys side of the field is probably at its lowest ebb all year, or for that matter, for a very, very long time. A lot of people are questioning their head coach. A lot of people are questioning their quarterback. Those are two people that you've got to have tremendous amount of confidence in, and right now that's not the case here in Dallas.
Mike Saxon will kick inside the 5 by Sikahema, his beat. Saxon gets off a fine kick. Sikahema at the 39. Hit. Great hit that time by Steve Diassi. 43-yard kick by Saxon, and Sikahema could go nowhere.
Now he's going to have trouble finding the bench, too, after that lick. That was a great hit by Diassi, and that has got Vi a little shaken up here. Let's take a look at it. Number 55 is right. Well, he's right there. Actually, his own man didn't help him out much either. That was Ricky Moore down there. That's really a tough position to be in. You're trying to block, and now you got your receiver bringing the ball down the field. That'd be interesting to see if Sikahema can go anymore.
Well, they've lost Stump Mitchell, who's out with a sprained ankle for the 2nd straight game. And if Sikahema is not 100%, 2 of the big weapons that the Cardinals have, and then Neil Lomax, of course, with the hip, that cuts into what the Cards can do.
It's that old war of attrition.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Cardinals with 5:43 to go. Earl Farrell. Hunson pecks for some yards and brings it up to the 46, where Jim Jeffcoat makes the stop. There's Sikahema, and they're working on him on the Phoenix sideline.
He is probably the best punt returner in football right now. He's been to the Pro Bowl the last couple of years. He's fearless, Dick. He just grabs that ball, has absolutely no concern for his own well-being. He'll run it straight up the field, doesn't like to juke around a lot, and that's why he's been so effective.
4 wide receivers, including Novacek, who's in motion. Pressure on Lomax. Down he goes, fumble. And Earl Farrell picked it up and got a couple of yards. Farrell was very alert on that play. Vince Albritton with the great pressure. Back in action is Albritton, and he got to Lomax.
Albritton's going to come on the safety blitz from right about this area here, and Lomax has no idea what hits him. Number 36 has a free run. Farrell is over there just a little bit late, but Farrell keeps his wits about himself, sees the ball on the ground, picks it up, and saved a loss.
Vince Albritton, who had been out with an injured thigh, came off injured reserve. This is his first appearance. So that's the third sack of the game by the Cowboys. Third down and 9 on the Cardinal 44. Lomax going for Green, and the pass is short. And that'll bring up fourth down again. And we'll have another kick. It'll be our 11th punt of the game coming up. Robert Williams was defending on Roy Green.
Well, when you're playing a ball game and you're hurting with a bad hip and you've been knocked down about 6 or 7 times already in the first quarter, it's going to affect your throwing motion. It's going to affect your accuracy. Green had Robert Williams beat that time, but Lomax just couldn't get him the ball.
Kelvin Martin goes back. This is the kind of a game, as Dan had mentioned earlier, where a big play, somebody breaking a return, deep passes could spell the difference. Greg Horn's kick, and a fair catch called for by Martin on the 19-yard line. So now the Dallas Cowboys, who haven't moved the ball much, will try to move it now. In the first half, no score, and our crack research team has been going back into the archives to try to find out some reason or rationale, some scientific reason why we've had no offensive play at all in a 0-0 game. And Mr. Fouts, what have you found out?
Well, it is close to Halloween, right? I think that both teams are so familiar with each other that they're outguessing each other, and they're shadow boxing against shadows.
That's about what it is. First down for the Cowboys on the 19. Ballure with time, and the pass is caught by Ray Alexander. E.J. Jr. on the stop. It'll be second down and about 1 or 2 yards. Alexander, who was picked up as a free agent last year and spent most of the season on injured reserve.
And coming down to the end of the first half, the good news for Cowboy fans is they have 2 timeouts remaining.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Thornton Chandler has a sprained right ankle. It's being taped, and Doug Cosby has made his first appearance, number 84. There you see him, wide to the right. Second and 2. Ballure's pass. Alexander stays in bounds, and that's good enough for a first down for the Dallas Cowboys at the 37-yard line. Mack on the play.
Well, we talked earlier about Alexander's ability to catch the ball with his hands. Great example of it right there. Great concentration. His feet are down. The ball is secure. First down, Cowboys.
And with 4 receptions, Ray Alexander is the only Dallas Cowboy to have caught a pass in this first half with 3 minutes 14 seconds remain. No score. Cowboys with 4 first downs in the game. 2 of those, though, as a result of penalties. And Ballure will call the timeout. You heard the groans from the crowd. That is the second timeout called by the Cowboys in this first half. They have 1 remaining.
And again, you hate to use the timeout in this situation. The clock has already been stopped by Alexander's catch on the previous play. It's just another case of Ballure's inexperience with the offense, and also his inexperience on how to deal with that 45 or 30-second clock and move his team down the field.
One of the things he told us yesterday when we were at the Cowboys Valley Ranch camp, he says, the one thing that I learned in last week's loss to the Eagles, and he was up 20-0, and they ended up losing by a point, 24-23, is that not to let up when I have a big lead. That is not the kind of problem he's dealing with this afternoon.
No, I talked with Paul Hackett before the game, and he said that one of the problems, Hackett being the quarterback coach, is that Ballure has got to learn probably the most difficult aspects of playing quarterback, and that's one of them is in this instance the 2-minute warning or close to that. Moving your team down the field properly, making proper use of your timeouts, when to throw the ball away, how to throw it away, all those types of things that you can only learn through experience.
Ballure has connected on 2 straight passes. First down on the 37, fake on a reverse. And he completes it to Timmy Newsom, and Newsom is decked for a loss. Ricky Hunley defending, and they'll lose about 5 yards on that play. Freddie Joe Nunn put big pressure on Pelluer that time.
Well, this play is doomed from the very beginning. They don't get any fake at all out of this reverse to Irvin, and I'm wondering why they're not throwing the ball to Irvin more. He seems to, at least earlier in the year, been their big play guy as a receiver's concerned. I don't think they've thrown him one yet today.
They haven't. Well, it's a good time to catch up on your Sunday reading. 2:35 remaining in the first half. Second down and 15. Pelluer into a crowd. Incomplete. Cedric Mack knocks it out of the hands of Ray Alexander. It's the only number, it seems, that he has seen, and a penalty marker has been thrown.
Cowboys are indicating that this one is against the Cardinals.
It was thrown back around the line of scrimmage.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 65 defense going to the head. First
David
down.
Galloway back in action, a little overzealous perhaps.
Well, that's one area of the quarterback you cannot hit, and that's the head. The league has outlawed this before, but I'm not so sure that's such a terrible blow right there.
G-Way, as he's called, David Galloway, who's had an injured left foot, was on injured reserve with a broken thumb.
The problem with his foot is the bottom. There's a tendon that runs from the balls of your feet back to the heel, and he stretched that tendon, and it feels like you've got a knife right on the bottom of your foot.
Just talking about it, you can feel the pain. First down for the Cowboys, and there's Freddie Joe Nunn storming through straight away. I don't think Pelluer ever saw him, and a big loss on the play back to the 38-yard line.
Freddie Joe's having an outstanding year. Here he is right here working against Gogan, and he gets in right now, and there's just no stopping him. Pelluer just turns around and he takes a great lick. Pelluer has got a lot of hard knocks against him in his career. He's a big, strong guy, but he can't take too many of those. Great job by Nunn. He's having a super season.
Since his switch from linebacker to defensive end, he has 19 sacks in 21 games. So he found his spot. And now the 2-minute warning is upon us here at Texas Stadium. No score. We'll be back. We have our 2-minute warning. This is Dick Stockton and Dan Fouts. And with 2 minutes remaining in the first half, no score between the Phoenix Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. Cardinals have all of their timeouts remaining, and Dallas has only one. Neil Lomax trying to stay healthy and trying to generate something, and so far it's been 0-0, and I don't know whether it's contagious, Dan, but Tampa Bay and Miami went into halftime also with a scoreless game.
That's a lot hotter down there, though.
For sure. Second down and 20 for Pelluer and the Cowboys, back up on their own 38-yard line. This pass is caught by Kelvin Martin, and Martin is brought down at midfield by Lonnie Young. They still need about 13 yards for first down yardage, and only one timeout left for Dallas.
That was good patience on Pelluer's part that time. The Cardinals played a deep zone. They gave him the underneath pass to Martin. He took it, and now they have a chance to pick up the first down in a situation where it's about 3rd and 14.
The numbers are hardly impressive. 3rd down and 14. Quick toss up the middle, and it's caught. Everett Gay. And the ball was blown dead, short of a first down, but in Cardinal territory at the 48. Travis Curtis on the stop. So Everett Gay, another one of the receivers who have really shown what they can do, shaken up.
I can't believe the Cardinals aren't calling timeout right here. They've got a chance to get this ball in field position and move it down the field to kick a field goal. But they're just letting the clock. The Cowboys dictate the time right now, letting it run on down.
And Andy Schillinger has gone back to receive the punt from Mike Saxon. So Vai Sikahema apparently shaken up enough to not go out there here. Here is Schillinger. Rookie wide receiver from Miami of Ohio. 35 seconds remain. Good kick, high kick. They'll let it bounce, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback with 26 seconds remaining in the first half. And we want to remind you that coming up at halftime, Brent Erb and Dick Butkus with all the scores and highlights. That's all coming up at halftime. So the Cardinals have it on the 20-yard line. All timeouts remaining, but they don't have enough time to use them all.
Well, I think both teams would be very satisfied to go in at halftime 0-0. Go in and maybe, you know, take a shower or something, change their clothes, get on a fresh jersey, you know, do some soul searching if that's called for. But this has been a terrible first half for both teams. Unless you're a fan of the no-hitter type of baseball game, you must be real happy with the 0-0 score.
First down on the 20. Earl Farrell slices off right tackle and is down at the 24. And the Cardinals get set to walk toward the dressing room. They'll take their 0-0 game with them.
But here's a case where the Cowboys aren't anxious to play any more football this half. They've had one timeout left. They could have stopped the clock and made Phoenix snap the ball one more time and hope for the turnover, maybe get some points out of it.
Well, the crowd didn't enjoy it. No one could. That is the end of the first half here in Dallas with the score. The Cardinals nothing.
Plays as well here.
And it's not easy for me to say good things about defenses, but we have had defensive lines that have controlled the line of scrimmage as far as the rush and the pass is concerned. But I've really been surprised to see the great man-to-man pass coverages by both football teams.
This is the closest thing we had to a score, a missed field goal by the Cardinals.
Yeah, this is just a bobbled snap by Stout. It came in a little bit low, but he's got to make that grab. That's the toughest grab for a holder to make, but that's why he's doing the job.
So the Cardinals couldn't get on the board, and there you see the paltry offense that we have thus far in this game. And CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this message and a word from 40,000.